Hi everyone, in this video I am going to explain frequently asked Spring Boot annotation for Java full stack developer interviews. Even if you are a fresher and experienced candidate, you should know what are the frequently used annotation in your daily work. So let me explain. So here I am going to explain first basic annotation, next intermediate, and next advanced annotation. Along with code snippet, I will show you guys. So let's start with first. What are annotations? The annotations are metadata added to Java classes, methods, or fields to give instruction to Spring. What is metadata means? It's an extra information. So using this extra information, the Spring will do some additional operation on top on the classes. So first we are going to learn about what is at the rate of Spring Boot application annotation. So it is used to start an Spring Boot application. It is a combination of at the rate of configuration, at the rate of enable auto configuration, and at the rate of component scan. So this annotation basically we will declare in main class. So let me show you in my project. So this is my project. This is the main class of my project. So here by default, whenever I'm creating this project, this annotation will be in my main class. So let me show you the source code. So this is annotations contain the at the rate of enable auto configuration and component scan, and at the rate of configuration it will contain in parent. So these are the so this is the source code for this annotation. In the same way, we can create our custom annotations as well in Spring Boot application. So let's go to the next annotation. At the rate of REST controller. This is used to create used in our controller layer. Basically, it is a combination of at the rate of controller and at the rate of response body. So whenever you are writing any controller for your features, basically you will use at the rate of REST controller on top of the class. So why response body means in your Spring Boot application, basically the response will be in JSON format. Because of this annotation, the Spring will convert your object into JSON and it will send to the client. So the main interview point is return JSON and text direct instead of JSP pages. So let's go to the next annotation at the rate of controller. This annotation probably we will use in our Spring MVC projects. It is used to declare a controller class as a controller. So it doesn't have not combination with any other annotation like response body. It's a simple at the rate of controller annotation, and even this is also contain component annotation. So let's go to so this is stereotype annotation we will call, and one more at the rate of service. This is used to declare in our service layers. So basically it will indicate class as the service class, means that class contain only the business logics. It will work better with at the rate of transactional. So we'll go to next one. What is use of at the rate of repository? So this is a part of stereotype annotations in Spring. So this is also used to create bean for your repo class. Repo classes are usually interactive with your database. It means in your repo you will write the database operations like native queries and all. Let me show you with one example. So this is my repo package. If you see here, I used here at the rate of repository. Let me show you the source code. It contains the component annotation. Even every, like I showed service also will contain in the same way component annotation. The main thing it is used to create the bean for your repository interface. So let's go to the next. At the rate of component, it's a generic Spring managed bean. So this we will use, let's say I return one utility class. By that time, I have to use the component because that is not service, that is not repository, that is not controller. So that is a generic bean. So by that time, we have to use at the rate of component. Next one is at the rate of auto void. So used for dependency injection. Using this annotation, the Spring will create bean for repository and it will inject to this user repository interface. So next one at the rate of value. So basically, it is used to get the value, read values from properties file. Let's say I declared a port number in my application properties file. I want that value in my controller class or service class. By the time you have to use this at the rate of value annotation, I have to give that key. So for example, this is my application properties file. I declare server.port. I want to use this port number in my controller class, means I have to use this at the rate of value. Let me show you how application properties file will looks like. Mm, Resources and application properties file. So here I declare this port. Now I want this port here in my controller. In this, for example, I'm declaring for showing to you. So here I have to directly use here at the rate of value. Let me declare value, and I need to just pass here that key, whatever I declared in application properties file. So whenever you will use this variable, the value will come from application properties. Next, go to the next. Let's go to the next. Next one at the rate of request mapping. So at the rate of request mapping will support for all type of request endpoints. Sorry. At the rate of request mapping, it is in class level annotation. So basically, whenever you are writing any endpoints in your Spring Boot app, we will declare root level annotation. This is the best coding practices. So this is used to declare a root endpoint for your class. So these are nested. This is a class level annotation as well, you have to remember. Next, go to the at the rate of get mapping. This is used to write the get API. So instead, before Spring Boot in Spring MVC, we will use request mapping, and there we will declare the request method type. But when it comes to Spring Boot providing different type of annotations. Let's say get mapping, post mapping, put mapping, at the rate of delete mapping. I will show everything here. So at the rate of get mapping used for declaring get endpoint. In the same way for post. So used for HTTP post requests. Put mapping is used to update the records, existing records. It is used for update the updating operation. Delete is used for deleting the records. And at the rate of path variable, this one you should remember. Let's say here we will use variables in two ways from URLs. One is path variables, one is query parameters. Path variables are used to read values from the URLs. Let's say here till workspace, here is an endpoint. This is the endpoint. Let's say this is class level. This is this is like project level. This is class level. Let's say. So here the value is this encrypted value. If I want to get this value in my controller, means I will use at the rate of path variable. So here I declared an endpoint, user and ID. Here I am using path variable. That's why I declared the variable ID over here, and I am using. So next one is I told at the rate of request param reads query parameters from the URL. So this is an example for a request param. Here you have a search endpoint. Here I'm given parameter as name. So here I'm passing name as Divakar. So if I want to retrieve name from this search endpoint means I will use directly a request param string name. So here I didn't declare this name attribute over here because I have only one query parameter. If you are having multiple, you should declare this key over here. Let's say in the form of here at the rate of request body. This is used to convert your Java object into JSON format. Let's say if you are editing any endpoint, usually the response type mostly the response type is JSON. So from this user object, the Spring Boot will create a JSON structure with the help of at the rate of request body. Now we are getting into the intermediate level annotations. Everyone should concentrate on more. This is not that much difficult. It's too easy, guys. So let's start. At the rate of configuration, this is used to define Spring configuration classes. So let me tell you at what case we are going to use. Here I declare the REST template. We know REST template is used to call other external services. It means external APIs. So by default, REST template will give some properties. Whenever I'm hitting any other API, the timeout should be 10 seconds. But I need timeout in 15 seconds. So by the time we are going to declare a customized bean in our app configuration. So whatever you have custom beans, you all place it in this app configuration class. So this class is responsible for customizing beans. So that's why I'm used here at the rate of configuration. So not here I will declare, but here for sample example I showed. So it's basically simple terms. It is used on top of configuration classes. So go to next one at the rate of bean. So this is a method level annotation. This is used to declare a customized beans. So here I declaring customized object mapper. This is used to convert let's say we convert objects, one type of object into to map one object data into another object. Let's say here usually for example here I declare directly the entity, but usually what will happen in real-time projects, here I will declare user DTO. DTOs are best practices in terms for controller layer. So I want to map this DTO value to entity. So by the time I will use this at the rate of object mapper to convert D2O value to entity. So I have some issues like if the object value is null means it should not iterate that object. So I need some customization on object mapper class. So by the time I can create customized object mapper bean. So use it when third-party classes cannot use annotations. So let's go to the next one, qualifier. So whenever you have multiple beans, let me tell you one example. I have a payment service. It's an interface. This this is payment service. It's an interface. It has two type of core implementation classes. One is UPI payments. One is card payments. So basically what will happen whenever you have two beans, you cannot use auto-vary directly. It will throw ambiguity error. By the time you have to use the qualifier annotation for specific core implementation. So here I'm using PayPal service implementation. So whenever I'm using any methods from this payment service, it will use payment service class, PayPal service implementation class. This is the main use of qualifier annotation. Let's go to next one. Next one is primary. marks as default bean. So here my payment service has two types of payment implementations. Okay, I told here the by default core class should be the PayPal, means I have to use at the rate of primary on top of that class. So by the time I don't need to like this. I don't need qualifier for default one. If I want to use some other core implementation class, means let's say here by default is PayPal, but I want card payment, means by the time I have to use the qualifier for that card payment service. So next question, next annotation is at the rate of scope. Let's say we know in Springboard project all beans are singleton, means once the bean is created it will alive until the project destroyed, application destroy time. So but I don't want singleton beans, I need prototype. So what I will do, I will use this at the rate of scope annotation on top of the class. I will declare the what type of scope I need. Here I declare the prototype. In same way, you can use prototype, request, session, singleton as well. But if you want singleton, you no need to use this annotation because by default beans are singleton. So lazy annotation. This is very important for developer point of view. Why I'll tell you. We know whenever the project is getting started, the Spring will create beans for all the classes based on the component scan. So this will reduce your application startup time. What you have to do, if you use lazy annotation, the Spring will not create beans for those classes. It will inject proxies. So until you use this heavy service class, the bean will not create. So it will main focus is it is used to improve your application startup time. If you are not frequently using those beans, you can use at the rate of lazy for those classes. So improved startup time. Next one, profile. Loads beans based on environment. So environment means, let's say whenever you are developing any application, the application will run on different environments. One is development, one is testing, one is production. So whenever you are calling any third-party endpoint, third-party API, for that API, you should not use their production APIs. You have to use their development APIs or testing APIs. By the time you have to declare a separate bean object for that third-party API, you have to use dev. Then it will use dev configurations and it will call development APIs. So you should not use production APIs in your development time. It's a bad practice. It will create so many problems for that. By the time you can use the at the rate of profile. So in application properties also you can declare Spring Profile active development. In same way, you can declare for production or UAT as well. Guys, it's very important annotation. It is at the rate of transaction. It is frequently asked annotation for all type of experienced candidate, even freshers as well experienced candidates also. For experienced candidates, it's too important because it's doing a lot of job in your project actually. It is used for managing database transaction. So I will tell you what is the main reason using this annotation. So I have an endpoint. On calling on that endpoint, I'm updating 5 tables. So I am using 5 tables, right? Whenever I'm updating a 4th table data, because of some XYZ reasons, some issue came. By the time I need to roll back all the transactions, one of table 1, table 2, table 3 also. So if you are not using this at the rate of transaction, the entire transaction will never roll back. So the best practice is you are on top of this method, you have to use the at the rate of transaction. So it will roll back whenever exception came. Let's say I told if while writing data on 4th table, if exception came means it will roll back the entire data from all the tables. This is the best practice. But you have to use this one in your service layer and you have to call this method from your controller layer. You should not call this method from your service itself because it will create proxy. Proxy will not work on self-calling. So next very important annotation is at the rate of exceptional handler. This is primarily used in handling global exception in your project. So this is in method level annotation. So here I declare a generic exception for my entire project. So here I pass the class for what type of exception this method has to execute. Means here I am using generic exception. Whenever exception occurred in my entire project, it will trigger this method and this will execute. For best practices, we have to declare the global exceptions in our project. So next one, at the rate of controller advice. This is also used for handling global exception in your project. This is a class level annotation. This is method level annotation. By the combination of these two only, we can achieve global exception implementation in our project. So recently we got new annotation at the rate of controller advice. That is also for best practices. It will return JSON. Next one, valid. The interview will ask you how you will validate the request body in your Spring Boot app. So you can tell I will use at the rate of valid annotation in my controller layer. So I will declare validation. Let's say here I declared a user class. The username should not be blank. Okay. I return an post endpoint. I return save method. Whenever the user sending the request body, if he is sending blank for this username, it will return object invalid, because here we are using at the rate of valid annotation. So before it reaching this before executing this save method, the Spring will check this object is passed through all conditions or not, because here we declare this annotation. So using valid at the rate of valid annotation, we can validate the objects before proceeding. Next one, at the rate of cross origin. This is usually we will get whenever you are working with Angular application. Let's say your Angular application is running on different port, your Spring Boot app is running on different port. Whenever you are sending, you are calling your backend endpoints, the server in browser console you will see the cross origin error, because the browser, because of browser rules, the server is not accepting your front end request. By that time you can use the at the rate of cross origin. You can give here your front end URL. So this is controller. Here I used controller level, but this is bad practice. You have to declare application level. It means global level. That is you can achieve. Please let me know how we can do in comment section. Till you are watching means you are showing very interest to learn these annotations. So yeah, we are almost done. We are getting into the advanced level annotations. So this will give more knowledge of what is these annotations and all. Just start. What is at the rate of enable scheduling? So in real time, when we will use this scheduler, let me tell you. Every month we will get the EMI notifications. By the end, you will every month when you have to pay money, you will get one notification from that app, right? So these will call schedulings. It will execute based on our specific time. So if you want to implement scheduling in your Spring Boot app, you have to enable scheduling in our main class. So this annotation you must use over in your main class. Let me show you here. So yeah, this is my main class. So here I have to use this at the rate of enable scheduling. So here you have, I didn't added at the rate of scheduler starter, it's required. So yeah, after that you can use at the rate of enable scheduling. So next you can declare schedulers methods. So we'll learn what is at the rate of scheduled once we added at the rate of enable scheduling our main class. So next you can declare the at the schedulers methods. These are doing for task. I told every month you will get an EMI notification, right? So here we will This here you can give cron expression, but here I used fixed rate. Based on your scenarios, you can declare here variables. Here you can use uh, corn jobs, cron expressions. So here there are some expressions were there. You can run this method every day, every month, end of the month as well. Based on your requirement, you can customize it. So these methods will trigger automatically based on expression which you are giving here. So here this fixed rate means it will execute for every 5 seconds. I hope you guys have understood. Next we will learn what is use of async annotation. This is very important when you are doing asynchronous task in your Spring Boot app. So when we will use, let me tell. Let's say I today I booked the movie ticket or bus ticket. Once my booking confirmation happen, I will get the notification in my WhatsApp or through email. So once the booking is successfully, I will show pop-up to the user, your booking is successful, your seats are allocated, something like that. But by the time we will not get email instantly, because this sending email process will happen in backend process. It is used to improve your uh, user experience mainly. So this method will executed by different thread. If you are going to use async thread means async annotations means you must use at the rate of async annotation on your main class. Your main class is the master for everything. So here I have to import this class import statement. So once you use at the rate of enable async in your main class, then only your async method will work, or else it won't work. So next one we get into caching annotations. So at the rate of enable caching also use, we are enabling the things. See, all names are started with enabling. Primarily if you are implementing caching in your app, you have to use at the rate of enable caching in your main class, main class. Then only your caching annotations will work, or else it won't work. Basically it is used to enabling caching. So next we will learn what are caching annotations. So at the rate of cacheable is a method level annotation. It is used to cache the result. Here I am I have a get users method. Once the data loaded from DB, it will store in RAM. So whenever I am calling next time this method, it won't database call will not happen. It will fetch data from RAM. So it will improve our API performance. It will improve API performance, avoiding repeated DB calls. Because DB calls are costly. So next one, at the rate of fiend client. So this is primarily we will use in microservices, inter-service microservices communication usually. Let's say I have a payment service, I have a order service. If the order service want to call payment service means here I use it to declare one interface for payment service. I will declare payment APIs over in this interface. On top of this payment interface, I will declare at the rate of client. Here I will give bean name. This is payment interface. So alternatively, we have another options as well. We can call other services using at the rate of REST template and at the rate at the REST using REST template and web client also we can do, but fiend client is too popular nowadays. So the next one, at the rate of enable discovery client. So this is used service discovery time if you are building microservices using Spring Cloud. So you will use at the rate of service discovery client. Let me show you. I think I would have declared here. So I think I will show in I will show it in a separate video, guys, because I build on small project using microservices, using Spring Cloud. I'll show in upcoming videos. So it's primarily used whenever you are implementing service discovery. So next one, at the rate of refresh scope, refreshes configuration without restarting. So whenever you are doing external configurations, let's say here we declare the DB. Let me show you one simple example. Here I declare DB configurations in application properties file, but still we can take it out from here and we can declare in our separate Git repository, and we can take it from our Git repo using Spring external configurations. By that time, we don't need to restart the app whenever we are doing changes on application properties file. So if you are implementing external configurations, you can use at the rate of refresh scope. So your app no need to restart again. At the rate of conditional properties, this is very important for senior developers. So what it usually will do, it will create beans based on the conditions. So let's say I need to create object for my service only in Indian region. For US region, I have a different object. In this kind of scenarios, we can use the at the rate of conditional property annotation. This is class level annotation. This is method level annotation. It's a combination with bean annotation, because here we are creating bean for my service. So next one, at the rate of event listener. This is used in event driven architecture projects. Whenever you are implementing events, you can use at the rate of event listener. Whenever some method is calling, by the time this event will get triggered. I will do separate video on this event driven and fee client. There are some more annotations are there, but these are very frequently asked for interviews. So if you like this video, do like and subscribe for more video, guys. Please let me know your experience from this video in comment section.